Go to Google and type Rathod's IAS. Then you can see our website, Rathod's IAS Academy. There you have to click on login or register in the blue color. So if you have not registered yet, you have to click on do not have account and fill the details. So once you have login, click on the courses. There you can see course list. And in this course list, you can see wide range of courses. Hi, this is Usha. Welcome to Rathod's IAS classes. Today in this lecture, we are going to see current affairs of 8th June 2022. So let's get started with our discussion and let us try to see today's quote. So today's quote is given by Rabindranath Tagore. So this Rabindranath Tagore is very important from your ethics point of view. So in ethics, whenever you are doing with the philosophical thinkers topic, especially there you can study about this Rabindranath Tagore from ethical point of view. So here quotes of this Rabindranath Tagore will be important for your both means, okay, from ethics, and even that quotes that you can use in your essay as well. So this quote is, I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I slept and I dreamt that life was joy. I awake and saw that life was service. So when he slept, he got a dream that yes, life was joy. But once he came out of that sleep and he saw that life was service. And later on, I acted and behold, service was joy. And later on, he understood that yes, service itself is a joy. Okay, so in this way here, this quote is very important from our UPSC aspirants point of view and from civil servant point of view. So now let us try to see first topic. It is regarding GST Council ruling. So whatever the thing which is important from our UPSC point of view, we are going to discuss, and we are going to see what is the background and what is the Supreme Court ruling, and we are going to see some facts, and even we are going to see one means question from this topic. So these are the different dimensions that we are going to see in this lecture regarding this GST Council topic. So this topic is important from your GS paper 3 under economy, because we are going to talk about this indirect tax, and here we are talking about Supreme Court ruling. So because of this is important from your polity point of view. So if you see why it is important, yes, whenever Supreme Court which gave any judgment, which that will be important, and this is also related to our GST, that is goods and service tax, which is one of the indirect tax which is present in India, and the Government of India implemented this GST in year 2017. So actually we also have constitutional bodies, that is GST Council. So because of this is important. So recently our Supreme Court of India, that is Apex Court of India, and this court which mainly said that union and state legislature, they have equal, simultaneous and as well as unique powers. Okay, so here union and state, they have equal, simultaneous, unique powers to make laws regarding this GST, goods and service tax. And here Supreme Court also said that regarding this GST, so we have this GST Council. So this GST Council, which is a constitutional body, and whatever the recommendations of this GST Council, they are not binding on either union or state government. So first thing it said that if any thing which we want to go for regarding this GST, so both union and states, they have equal, simultaneous and unique powers to make this laws on GST. And second important thing here is, so what are the recommendations of this GST Council? They are not binding on either union government or state government. And the Apex has rejected the center's argument that the entire structure of GST would crumble. The council's mandates are not treated as enforceable. So this is a thing which mainly rejected by this court. Okay, so this central government which mainly said that, so GST, the entire structure of this GST would crumble if council mandates are not treated as enforceable. If you are not treating them as enforceable, means what are the structure of this GST which is there, so it will be like a crumble. So this argument of center, which is mainly rejected by Apex Court, that is Supreme Court. So if you talk about background, so what is the background? Here Apex Court, our Supreme Court decision which mainly came while confirming Gujarat High Court. So Gujarat High Court ruling that the center cannot levy IGST, integrated goods and service tax, on ocean flight okay, from Indian importers. So whenever Indian importers, they are importing the goods through this ocean, okay, or waterways, okay. So through this, so here government which mainly started imposing this integrated GST. So here High Court, Gujarat High Court, which mainly said that no, central government should not impose this IGST, and this case which mainly went to Supreme Court, and Supreme Court gave the final judgment. And if you're talking about the Supreme Court ruling on this GST Council, okay, so Supreme Court which mainly gave a judgment, and it mainly focused on importance of this cooperative federalism. So cooperative federalism, it is very important for well-being of democracy. It is very important regarding the well-being of democracy, and also held that union and state legislature, they have equal, simultaneous and unique powers to make laws on this GST, goods and service tax, and the recommendations of this GST Council, they are not binding on them. And the recommendations of this GST Council, they are the product of a collaborative dialogue which is mainly involving union and as well as state. And whatever the recommendations which are given by this GST Council, they are to be just recommendatory in nature. And okay, so these recommendations, they have only a persuasive value, that's it. So to regard them as binding, so whenever we are saying these recommendations are binding, means it mainly disrupts fiscal federalism. Fiscal federalism, that is between both union and as well as state, okay. So because of this, we need equal power to the state and as center to make the laws regarding this GST. And court which also focused on this Article 246A of Indian Constitution, which mainly says that union and states, they have the equal units. They are equal units and they have equal power. So if you are talking about this Article 246A of Indian Constitution, which mainly talks about state power to make laws with respect to GST. It is mainly talking about states' power to make laws with respect to GST. And Article 279A of Indian Constitution, which mainly says that neither center nor states, they are actually dependent on each other. So if we're talking about what will be the impact of this ruling, so this judgment which may change the landscape of those provisions under this GST. So now this GST which are mainly subjected to judicial review. So as you all know, judicial review, it is one of the important component, right? So which case which mainly talks about judicial review? So let me know in the comment box. So here this article which mainly says that, so because of this judgment of Supreme Court which mainly talking about importance of cooperative federalism, and judgment, it is also resolved the prolonged battle between the government, okay, and as well as between the companies. There are a number of issues to implement this IGST, and it is also boosting the spirit of cooperative federalism by emphasizing the importance of this cooperative federalism. It is an important and vital component of our democracy. Okay, so this is about this topic. And now let's try to see one question, means question based on this topic. So what is this goods and service tax? Discuss the possible impact of Supreme Court ruling on this GST Council. So what is goods and service tax? So discuss the possible impact of this Supreme Court on this GST Council. So please write the answer, and answer should not be more than 150 words. And now let us try to see next topic. Actually, if you go through this topic, then you will be getting wide range of dimensions regarding Indian economy and as well as global economy. So what is the impact of this Russia-Ukraine conflict and as well as COVID-19 on economies of global economy and even Indian economy. So this topic is important from your economy point of view, which mainly comes under GS paper 3, and this topic is important from your mains point of view. So now let us try to talk about this topic in a very great detail. So this article which is mainly focusing on global recovery. So this article says that, so we entered into this COVID-19 phase, okay. So this global pandemic which mainly had several negative impact on economy of India and even economy of other countries throughout the globe. So apart from this this global pandemic, so now we are facing one crisis regarding this invasion of Russia on Ukraine, okay. So Russia, which is mainly invading this Ukraine, and we are seeing the war between Russia and Ukraine. So because of this economic perspective that had been worsened since then, here Russia, which mainly attacked Ukraine from February 24th onwards, there is increasing of uncertainties that is seen in our economies, and not only in the developing countries, even least developed countries and advanced economies, they are also facing crisis because of this Russia-Ukraine conflict, and because of this prevailing uncertainties in the global growth prospects, which are mainly came because of frequent disruptions to the worldwide supply chains. And even we can see from last 2 years onwards, we are seeing there are number of lockdowns. Okay, because of this lockdown, the number of key manufacturing hubs, they are mainly closed off. Okay, and there is also some disruption in the supply chain, so we are seeing some supply chain bottlenecks as well. Okay, so due to this COVID-19, already we know that manufacturing sector which mainly hit the most, because number of countries they went for abrupt national wide lockdown. So because of this national wide lockdown, we see there are key manufacturing hubs had been shut down or closed, and we also saw there is supply chain bottlenecks as well. So because of closing of international borders, there is no proper transfer of raw materials as well. So because of this supply chain disruptions, there are some many issues which are mainly faced by the economies across the globe. Okay, so what happened now, these countries, they are mainly focusing on their macroeconomic variables and they want to revive their economy. But there are some important challenges which are mainly faced. There are two important challenges that we are facing here is price rise in the market. So first problem here is price rise. I can say it is called as inflation. So first problem here is inflation, and the second problem here is we can see outflow of capital outflow is happening from the country. So the capital which is mainly going outside, and we are seeing there is tightening of a physical condition, financial condition that we can see, and even there is some effect on investment and growth as well. So these are the two important problems that we are mainly facing now. So if we're talking about the first one, that is regarding inflation, globally inflation has become a central concern for almost all the countries. Okay, so here the price increase that had been highest level in the 40 years, in the last 40 years, now this year we can see there is a very high price of goods and service in the market. And recently even IMF, International Monetary Fund, which mainly said that inflation to be expected to remain elevated for a longer period of time. So for 2022 here, inflation which is mainly projected at 5.7% in the advanced economies and 8.7% in the emerging market and developing countries. Okay, and it also projected that 2.5% of advanced economy group and 6.5% of emerging market and developing economies. So here what happened, so here IMF which came up with an estimate that yes, inflation which is mainly going to stay longer, and it projected that 5.7% of inflation that is mainly seen in advanced economies and 8.7% of inflation that is mainly seen in this emerging, or we can say like developing countries. So far what happened, we can see there is increasing of commodity price. So if you see in the context of India, yes, edible oil price had been increased, crude oil price had been increased, and even gas price had been increased. And if you see the cost of vegetables, it is very high. Okay, so because of this we have some impact on the people. And important major contributors for this high inflation here is yes, energy cost is increasing, and even food prices cost is increasing, and there is spike in the oil and as well as gas prices, and even there is increasing of this fossil fuel supply as well. Okay, tightening of this fossil fuel supply that led to increasing of this fuel cost, for example petrol, diesel, etc. Especially if you're focusing in this developing economies, there is increasing of food prices. So because of this increasing of food prices, we can see there is a cascading effect. Okay, cascading effect, and that will lead to overall inflation in the country. So especially poor people who are mainly depending on the one grain, they will be having more impact because they can't go for another grains, because their food habits are like they are mainly focusing on one food grain. Okay, for example, if they are consuming only wheat means, so they can't shift to the rice or other millets. right? So if you're talking about what is the impact on the households, so especially in the developing economies, higher price for the food impacts different sections of the people differently. So it is not affecting the different all sections of people equally, okay, because especially some people, they will be having diverse food habits, some people they do not have the diverse food habits. So people who are having diverse food habits, so they will be adopting the low cost food, okay. For example, if you see tomatoes are like 100 rupees per kg, and the same way here, if you're talking about ladies finger, it is like 30 rupees half kg. So here they can use this ladies finger till the price of this tomato will be decreased. So in this way here, whenever people having the diverse food habits, then they can have the less impact. But when we are comparing with the people who are having or depending on the only one grain, so they are particularly vulnerable to this price changes in the market. And higher energy prices, which also affect even cereal prices, because there is increasing of this transportation cost, and there is also increasing of this input prices such as fertilizers as well. Okay, so this mainly aggravates the shortages due to disruptions, and even there will be shortages in the agriculture inputs that will mainly impact the supply and market availability. So whenever there is a persistent short supply and increase in the food and fuel prices, that could mainly significantly increase the risk of social unrest, okay, among the poorer sections of society. And if you're talking about second problem, that is capital outflows, yes, apart from inflation, we are also seeing one more problem, that is capital outflow, okay, capital outflow from these emerging markets or developing economies. So what happened here, especially in emerging markets, that is developing countries, there is outflow of capital which is mainly seen, okay, that is FPI or FDI, we can talk about them. Okay, so whenever there is a foreign net portfolio outflows for emerging markets, they came to $9.8 billion in March, and developing stocks lost about $6.7 billion. And especially for the developing countries, so there is a large amount of this capital outflow which is mainly seeing. So because of this, we are seeing there is a currency depreciation, and we need to go for tightening of external sector conditions that will lead to growth fluctuations. So these are the problems that we are mainly seeing. So apart from this, what are the policy options that we can take? So for example, first thing here is we need to control this inflation. To control this inflation, we need to talk about monetary policy of RBI. RBI need to come up with tightening of monetary policy. It need to increase the interest rate such that it can decrease the money supply in the market. Right, and next one is we need to also focus on tightening needs to prevailing economic situations and as well as activity levels, and we need to carefully monitor, and we need to pass through the rising of international prices to domestic inflation, and we need to go for a very much ready to shift the monetary stance to maintain the credibility of their inflation targeting frameworks. Okay, and we need to clearly monitor the communicating the importance of inflation, stabilization and their objectives, etc. And whenever there is a sudden capital outflow which is happening, means that will mainly threaten the financial stability of that country and foreign exchange interventions, so that will lead to market imbalance. Okay, so we need to focus on massive expenditure programs. They mainly directed towards health sector and income support measures, etc. That will be very helpful for this fiscal expansion now. So this is about this topic, and now let us try to see next topic. It is regarding a bad bank. Okay, so here we need to know about what is this NARCL and what is the role of this NARCL and how it is different from this ARC. So this topic is also important from our economy point of view, which mainly comes as GS paper 3. And from this topic you can expect a prelims questions and even mains question. So why it is in news? Recently our Union Finance Minister, she announced that National Asset Reconstruction Company Limited, okay, National Asset Reconstruction Company Limited, along with the India Debt Resolution Company, okay, along with this India Debt Resolution Company Limited, they will take over the first set of bad loans from bank, and they are going to try to resolve these bad loans. So because of this is the news. And if you're talking about some facts regarding this National Asset Reconstruction Company Limited, so actually it is a proposed bad bank, and the important role here is it will be taking over the stressed asset of lenders. And actually this NARCL, which may announced in the budget of 2021 to 2022. and it is like a plan to create a bad bank to household bad loans, okay, of rupees 500 crore and above. And in a structure there will contain, okay, that will contain asset reconstruction company and even asset management company to manage and to recover these assets. A new entity which is mainly created in collaboration with both public and private sector banks, and majority which mainly owned by the state owned banks, okay, and this NARCL that will be assisted by India Debt Resolution Company Limited. Okay, and if you are talking about how this NARCL, which is different from already existing these ARC companies, so the proposed bad bank will have a public sector character unlike the other ARCs. And since the idea has mooted by government and the majority of ownership which is present with the state owned banks, and at present if you are talking about ARCs, they are typically seek a steep discount on loans. With the proposed bad banks being setting up, the valuation issues will not be like come up because they are mainly a government initiative, so that valuation issue will not come. And the government backed this ARC will have deep pockets to buy out big accounts and thus free up banks from carrying these accounts on their books. And if you are talking about ARC, what is this ARC? ARC, it is a specialized financial institution, and this institution which may buy this non-performing assets from banks and even financial institutions so that they can clean up their balance sheet, okay, so that they can clean up their balance sheet. And this helps banks to concentrate on normal banking activities. So the asset reconstruction companies or ARCs, they are registered under RBI. So if you're talking about capital needs for ARCs, so as per the amendment which is made in the SURFACE Act in 2016, so an ARC should have a minimum net owned funds of about 2 crore rupees, and this RBI which made raised this amount to rupees 100 crores in 2017. And ARC also have to maintain a capital adequacy ratios, that is CAR. So actually regarding this CAR, there was one question which appeared in 2018 examination. So you have to know what is this concept of this capital adequacy ratio. So if you don't know about this capital adequacy ratio, please let me know in the comment box. In the tomorrow's lecture, I will be coming with that topic, okay. So here understanding the concept is very important, as you have if you have a look over this year prelims, then you will be knowing about importance of concept clarity, especially in economy. So if you have understand the concept well, then you can easily answer the questions with some logical thinking, okay. So please try to get conceptual clarity rather than just by hiding the concept. And if you are talking about what is the need of this type of ARCs, so whatever the total stress which is mainly faced by this banking system, that would be in excess like rupees 15 lakh crore rupees, and the banks which are mainly burdened in this stressed asset and limited capital, that will find very much difficult to manage this NPAs. So nowadays there is growing of this NPA problem of non-performing assets which is mainly seen. So mainly to control this non-performing assets and to manage this non-performing assets, we need this bad banks, okay. And there is also limited capital that the government can provide. So this is where we need a bad bank model, okay, which will be helpful for both the government and even for the banks. So this is about this topic. And now let's try to say next topic. It is regarding food safety index. So this article is very important because food, it is one of the important area, okay, of especially it is also one of the favorite area of UPSC, where we can study this topic under hunger. So this topic is very important regarding GS paper 2 under governance. So now let us try to see this topic in a very great detail. So Tamil Nadu mainly topped the state food safety index. So state food safety index which is mainly topped by Tamil Nadu this year, and actually the second rank which mainly got by Gujarat, and third rank by Maharashtra. And among the smaller states, Goa mainly stood the first, and later on it mainly followed by Manipur, Sikkim. And if you are talking about union territories, first place occupied by Jammu and Kashmir, second place by Delhi, and third place by Chandigarh. So this is about rankings, recent rankings of this safety food safety index. So if you see details, it mainly says that here state food safety index, which mainly measures the performance of the state, which is mainly based on 5 parameters. So these parameters, who are going to set this? So these parameters will be set by Health Ministry. So this is one important prelim statement. And the rating will be done by this UPSC, that is Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. And the state had an important role in ensuring food safety and healthy food practices, and we should come together to build a healthy nation. So actually Union Health Minister, he mainly said that there are a number of initiatives, innovators that we came up. For example, you can talk about Eat Right Research Awards and grants in Eat Right Creativity Challenge as well. And if you're talking about some facts regarding the State Food Safety Index, so this index which will be released by UPSC, that is Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. And here this authority which mainly helps to measure performance, it mainly helps to measure performance of states of 5 parameters. So these 5 parameters will be came up by Health Ministry. So which are those 5 parameters? First one is human resources, second one is institutional data, compliance, food testing, infrastructure and surveillance, training and capacity building. And even we can focus on this consumer empowerment. So these are some important parameters. And the index, it is a dynamic, quantitative and qualitative benchmarking model. And this index which mainly provides an objective framework for evaluating food safety across all the states and union territories. And the first state food safety index for the year 2018 to 19, it was announced on the first ever World Food Safety Day on 7th June 2019. So these are some prelims related facts, and whenever I am giving data in the boxes with these colors, so try to know that and try to understand that. If at all possible, try to by heart that, because many of the questions that will come under this basics itself. And next one is, if you're talking about what is the importance of this food safety index, yes, we will be having some data that will help to access to sufficient amount of safe food. Okay, it is a one important key for sustaining life and even promoting of good health. And we can also focus on this foodborne illnesses. Okay, foodborne illness, it is one of the important and deadly disease which mainly caused by bacteria, virus or protozoa or any parasites or even chemical substances that mainly enters into our body through contaminated food and as well as contaminated water. And next one is, an estimated about 4,20,000 people around the world, they die every year after eating this contaminating food. Okay, and children who are under 5 years of age, they carry about 40% of foodborne disease burden. And we can see there will be like 1,25,000 deaths every year. So because of this here, food safety which mainly plays a critical role in assuring the food safety. Okay, and it will be also helpful for assuring the safety at each level of food chain. So what is this food chain? That concept you will be studying in our environment and ecology. And if you're talking about this food chain, we can start from the production to harvest, processing, storage, distribution, and the way to preparation as well as consumption. So in all these ways we need to ensure there should be safety. And food production is responsible up to 30% of even global greenhouse gas emissions that will contribute to this global warming. So especially when we are going for this rice, it is one of the important contributor for releasing of methane into atmosphere. So this question which appeared in this 2020-22 prelims. And now let's try to see next topic. It is regarding CDS post, that is Chief of Defence Staff. So new rules allow ex-officers to hold CDS post. So this article is important from your GS paper 2 under polity. So now let us try to understand this topic. So recently this post of this Chief of Defence Staff is vacant because of this Bipin Rawat, who mainly died recently in helicopter crash. Right. So if you see context, it mainly says that setting the stage for appointment of this next CDS, Chief of Defence Staff, government which mainly came up with amendment of the service rules of Army, Navy and as well as Air Force. So government came up with amendment of the service rules of Army, Navy and Air Force, and this amendments which mainly allows retired service chiefs and 3-star officers who are mainly eligible for consideration for this country's top most military post. So actually this CDS, it is a 4-star post. So here 3-star people, they are eligible for this CDS post. So if you see details, it mainly says that, so if you're talking about age limit of this retired officer should not have attained 62 years of date of appointment, and retired service chiefs, they are largely ruled out. Okay, and here central government, that can also consider, if it is necessary, that in public interest they can appoint this chief of defense staff, an officer who is serving as lieutenant general or an officer who has retired in the rank of this lieutenant general or general, and who had not attained age of 62 years on the date of appointment. Okay, so this is the amendment which is mainly made. And now let us try to see some facts regarding this CDF, that is Chief of Defence Staff. So this Chief of Defence Staff of this Indian Armed Forces, and he will be acting as a military head and chairman of Chief Staff Committee of Indian Armed Forces. Actually, this CDS, it is one of the senior most and highest ranking uniformed officer. And if you see here, so here the CDS officer, he is a 4-star officer, and he mainly serving officers of Indian Armed Forces, and while being the first among the equals among the service chiefs. And CDS is mainly assisted by Deputy Vice Chief of Defence Staff, and CDS heads the Department of Military Affairs under Ministry of Defence as its secretary. So these are some important facts regarding the CDS. And now let us try to see next topic. It is regarding NSG. So to understand this NSG, you need to know about what is Australia Group, what is MTCR, and what is this Wasner Agreement. So these 4 are regarding this export. Okay, these 4 are regarding multilateral export control regimes. So out of this 4, India which mainly became the part of 3, that is MTCR, Australia Group, and as well as Wasner Agreement. And India is mainly trying to become a member of this NSG, which is mainly opposed by China. So now let us try to understand this topic in a very great detail. So this topic is important regarding your GS paper 2 under international relations. So if you see context, it mainly says that in a message which mainly aimed that China, which is mainly blocking India's entry or India's membership at this nuclear supplier group. So External Affairs Minister mainly said that India looks forward to join this NSG, that is nuclear supply group, and we want to overcome some political impediments that are mainly stopping India's entry into this NSG group. So if you see details, it mainly says that our External Affairs Minister, he mainly addressing some foreign diplomats in Delhi, and in this context he mainly said that foreign policy of India which mainly achieved a lot of things in the past 8 years under this Modi's government. So India has deep belief on world being a family, and he mainly expressed it through the greater development that we have seen in the last 8 years. So if you're talking about this NSG, it is a 48 member elite club of countries, and this NSG which is mainly deals with the trade in nuclear technology, and they focus on this fissile materials, and they also focusing on this non-proliferation of nuclear weapons. And actually they will be focusing on strengthening of a rule-based order. They mainly focused on this strengthening of a rule-based order. So this is about some brief background regarding NSG. You have to remember it is a 48 member allied countries, and they are mainly focusing on nuclear technology, fissile material, and they also focusing on this contributing non-proliferation of nuclear weapons. And in this context, our External Affairs Minister, he said that India's membership to this MTCR, Missile Technology Control Regime, and Australia Group and Wasner Agreement, they are significant. And all these groupings are multilateral export control regimes. So if you see this image, you can see this mainly talking about race to join elite in club. So this is talking about this NSG, Nuclear Supplier Group. So this nuclear supplier group, it is a 48 nation body. Okay, and the number of these NSG members, they are in favor of India's inclusion to this group, but it is mainly stopped by China. So China says that if India is eligible for the getting of membership from this NSG, yes, Pakistan is also eligible. So this is the thing which mainly put forth by China here. So since Pakistan entry is unlikely, exercise seems aimed at supporting India's prospect. Okay, so this is about this infographic. And if you're talking about some facts regarding this NSG group, So it mainly brought in year 1974. So why these countries, they came together, they formed this group because in the response of India's nuclear test, that is Smiling Buddha. So we came up with this nuclear attack in India. So after that, here they formed this nuclear supplier group. So it is a multilateral export control regime. It is a group of nuclear supplier countries that mainly seek to prevent nuclear proliferation by controlling the export of materials, export of equipment, export of technology that can be used to manufacture nuclear weapons. And here this NSG which first met in November 1975 in London. So it is mainly called as this London Club. And actually this NSG, it is not a formal organization and its guidelines are not binding. So this is one important thing. And how many members are there? That is 48. So if we are talking about what is the criteria to be followed, or what are the criteria to be met to become member of this NSG. First one is the ability to supply items. So the country should have the ability to supply items. For example, part 1 and part 2 of NSG guidelines. And next one is here, any country that need to get the membership of this NSG, they need to adhere to the guidelines and action according to them. And next one is here, we need to go for enforcement of legally based domestic export control system, and we need to fully compliance with the obligations of one or more nuclear non-proliferation agreement, and we need to support international efforts towards non-proliferation of weapons of mass destruction as well as delivery vehicle. So these are some criteria that we need to meet. And now let us try to see the next topic. It is regarding advisory board on disability, not constituted since 2000. So since 2000 onwards, so there is no establishment or no reconstitution of this advisory board. So this article is important from your GS paper 2 under governance, which mainly important from your prelims point of view especially. So now let us try to see this topic in a very great detail. So if you see context, it mainly says that here CAB, Central Advisory Board on Disability. So actually this Central Advisory Board on Disability, which mainly mandated to meet every 6 months. Okay, every 6 months. And it is mainly comes under one important act, that is Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act of 2016. So you have to remember this. So actually it has not been reconstituted from previous 3 years. Okay, that is mainly 2020. So since 2020 onwards, there is no reconstitution of this body. Actually the tenure of this body here is 3 years. So after this tenure is completed since 2020 November onwards, there is no reconstitution of this advisory board, Central Advisory Board on Disability. So now let us try to see details. So government has appointed the Central Advisory Board on November 8th, 2017, and the tenure here is 3 years. Okay, so naming government officials and nominated members, here actually the government which is mainly saying that. So the tenure here is 3 years, and what happened, it is mainly acting as a national level consultancy, and even it is like advisory body on disability matter according to the act. And this panel, which is mainly meant to facilitate continuous evolution of comprehensive policy for empowerment of people with disabilities and full enjoyment of rights. So this body tenure here is 3 years, and first of all it mainly constituted in year 2017, and after completion of this 3 years of tenure, there is no reconstitution till now, and it is actually a national level consultative and advisory body on disability matters, and it mainly focus on the empowerment of people with disabilities and as well as full enjoyment of their rights. So what is the need of hour? The need of hour here is, so actually this CAB, that is one of the highest policy making body regarding these disability issues. So here what happened, we need now, that is for the establishment of this body. Okay, so this is about this topic, and now let us try to see next topic. Title says a joint count of elephants and big cats. So this article, which is mainly talking about census of tigers and as well as elephants. So here to know about or to refer Project Tiger and as well as Project Elephant. So here your homework here is, please refer about this Project Elephant and as well as Project Tiger. So these are two important things. Actually Here regarding Project Tiger, there was one important methodology that we use, that is strips, M strips. So this question which appeared in 2016 or 2017, I guess. So in this way also you can get questions from your prelims. So please don't ignore. So please try to refer this Project Elephant and Project Tiger. So if you see here, the context which mainly says that Union government will, for the first time this year, they present unified count of tiger, leopard and elephant populations of the country. Okay, so Union government will, for the first time, they present unified count for tiger, leopard and elephant populations of the country. So it is according to Union Environment Ministry. So Union Environment Ministry says that we need to go for unified count of this tiger, leopards and elephants. So if you see some details, it mainly says that tiger survey is usually held in once in 4 years, and elephant survey which is mainly done in once in 5 years. So this is an important prelims fact. So according to the most recent 2018-19 survey of tigers, we say that there are about 2,967 tigers are located in India. And according to last count in 2017 of elephants, 29,964 elephants are present in India. So Environment Minister, okay, Union Environment Minister, he mainly made a public that population estimation protocol to be adopted in all India elephant and tiger survey in 2022. So your elephant numbers, they would be estimated by the states based on DNA analysis. So based on DNA analysis and dung droppings and statistical techniques, so we are going to count this elephant number. And if you're talking about this tiger number, it will be counted by deploying camera traps and identifying individual based on stripes, that is M stripes, and as well as statistical analysis. So these are the methodology which is mainly used. Actually, some people, they are mainly, and especially environmentalists, they are saying that these are obsolete methods. So tiger scat and DNA analysis, which is mainly used only when camera traps are impractical to deploy. Okay, that too in different terrain. So this is a thing which mainly said by wildlife scientist at Wildlife Institute of India. And if you see about this number of this elephants, so because this elephant's number is more compared to that of tiger, it is very much hard to tell apart from this camera trap images alone. So it is more economical and feasible to use dung for identification of these elephants. And we can also go for head count method, or one currently developed to count elephant was obsolete methods. Okay, so here this article says that resource, time, energy will be saved when we are having a common estimate rather than the individual estimates for tiger and as well as elephant. So this is the first time that a robust scientific method which mainly based on statistical techniques that will be implemented. So once this is done, we will be getting data and we will be getting number of articles that we are going to discuss in our future. So these are some important articles, and now let us try to see yesterday's question. So first question is regarding judiciary. So with regard to judiciary in India, consider the following statements. So first one is judiciary is not part of state. It is absolutely incorrect. And municipal courts are both civil and criminal jurisdiction. Municipal courts are regarding civil but not criminal. So you can eliminate this. And district judge exercise both judicial and administrative powers. Yes. The pattern and designation of subordinate courts in states is not uniform. Yes. So that option will be 3 and 4. And next question is regarding Article 356. So consider the following statements. A resolution seeking disapproval of national emergency can be passed only by Lok Sabha. Okay. And next one is Article 356 can be invoked only on a written recommendation of cabinet, not written recommendation of cabinet. You can eliminate this. Next one is simple majority is enough to pass a resolution seeking a disapproval of this emergency. Yes. Correct option will be 1 and 3 only. So now let us try to see today's questions. The first one is regarding advisory jurisdiction of Supreme Court. Second question is regarding President's Rule. So try to read the statements and give me the correct option in the comment box. And now let us try to see today's Hindu newspaper PDF. So before saying that, I want to make a small announcement. We in Rathod Science, we came up with this mains answer writing practice course. And this course, it is for 1 year. And we are giving you weekly targets. So based on that weekly targets, daily one question, means question will be given. On Sunday there will be essay or case study practice. So this course, it is absolutely beneficial for the students who are beginners and even who already gave their attempts in this UPSC. So here the course cost is 7,200 rupees for 1 year. So if you have any query regarding this course, so please you can text me on this number or you can call me on this number 8074765513. And apart from that, if you want to get entire foundation course for UPSC CSE 2023-2024, you can take our course. So we are providing like more than 600 classes of video lectures, and in that we are mainly focusing on conceptual clarity. So if you have gone through your this year prelims, then you can understand about the importance of conceptual clarity that we are providing in our courses. So we are discussing each and every topic which is present in the syllabus. Okay, and we are mainly focusing on conceptual clarity. We are discussing previous prelims and as well as mains questions that will be very useful. Okay, so please try to join this course. That will be very useful. Okay, so if you have any queries, you can call on this number, and if you want to watch the demo videos, you can visit our website rathodsisacademy.com, and there you can register with your email ID, and after that you can watch 3 demo videos which are free of cost. And after watching that videos only, you can take your decision to purchase this course or not. Okay, and one more thing is, to get the PDF of this class, please join the Telegram channel. Link is given in description box. And now let us try to see today's Hindu newspaper PDF. So this is our today's Hindu, and the date here is June 8th, and this is Delhi edition. So first topic, it is regarding food safety index. I discussed in detail. I also discussed some basic facts that you need to know. And this article, which is regarding government reaches out to all OIC members. So actually this article I discussed in the yesterday's lecture. So if you have missed the yesterday's lecture, so please watch that lecture for this topic analysis. And if you move forward, I discussed about this CDS post. And if you move forward, you can leave this page, city page, it is not much important. And here you can see alarm raised as leach aid from this Bandwari spills into Aravallis. So here you need to know about how there is a contamination of groundwater is happening, how it is putting human lives and wildlife at risk. Okay, so how whenever there is a groundwater pollution contamination happening, so how it will be having effects on the economy of the people, because they need to shift towards this bottled water. Right, so here you need to know about some facts regarding this CPCB as well. So especially who are the people who are living around this area, so for them, so it might be a prelims interview question. And now if you move forward, here in this states page, page number 5, I didn't find anything which is much important. And in this page number 6, I discussed about this GST Council ruling. I discussed about this global growth recovery. And there are 2 topics which are also important, that is crime and copyright infringement. So this copyright, which will be studied in our GS paper 3 and science and technology. So please refer this article. And if you move forward, here in this data point, you can see article regarding mounting e-debris, electronic debris. About 1000 kilometers of e-waste were produced in year 2019 to 20 across India. And this CPCB, Central Pollution Control Board, which mainly came up with a report which mainly said that here global e-waste monitor report by United Nations, which mainly showed that e-waste which mainly produced by India in 2019, which was over 3 times that this CPCB figure. So because of this, it is very worrying. So we need to go for establishment of processing of this electronic waste companies in India. And if you see in this text and context, there is one article regarding this bad bank. I discussed this topic. And the next topic here, it is regarding West anti-Russia alliance. So this topic is also very important, because recently French president, he mainly came up with an interview, and he said that here French must not humiliate, he says that we must not humiliate Russia, so that the day when the fighting stops, we can build an exit revamp, okay, ramp up through diplomatic means. And also said that this is at odds with the West stance that the only acceptable outcomes of the ongoing conflict is a military victory for Ukraine. So here if you see, one important prelims fact I found here is, in this European Union nations, which country which is sharing boundary with this Russia, it is very important, that is Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia and Poland. So these are the 4 you have to remember. and you can leave this article, it is not much important. And here one more thing I want to focus here is, if you are a student who are preparing for other examinations also, means on June 8th, why this June 8th is important? It is a World's Ocean Day. So June 8th is World's Ocean Day. Actually it was proposed in the year 1992 and also recognized by United Nations in 2008. And next topic is regarding energy. I discussed this topic. And next topic here, it is regarding IAS deputation rules. So actually this IAS deputation rules, it is new, it is in news. Okay, already I discussed number of times. And if you move forward, here in this 12th page you can see advisory board topic. I discussed this topic. And here you can see article regarding this joint elephant and big cats. I discussed this topic. So this is the last topic of discussion, I think. And if you move forward in this world's page, that is page number 13, you can see China Cambodia to begin port project. So this topic is also very important, and you have to see what are the projects of India in Cambodia. And if you see in this business page, you can see World Bank, which mainly cuts India's financial year 23 GDP growth forecast to 7.5. So these are some important articles that appeared in the today's Hindu newspaper. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. So please subscribe to Rathod's IAS Academy and don't forget to like, share and comment my videos. And please try to enroll these courses. If you have any doubt, so please call me on the number which is given. And for the PDF, you can join the Telegram channel. Link is in description box. Thank you so much. Go to Google and type Rathod's IAS. Then you can see our website, Rathod's IAS Academy. There you have to click on login or register in the blue color. So if you have not registered yet, you have to click on do not have account and fill the details. You have to give your name, email ID, your mobile number and password, and finally you can click on this register button. And once your details are filled, then registration will be successful, and click on OK. And come back and click again on login and register, and you have to log in now. So after once you have login, click on the courses. There you can see course list, and in this course list you can see wide range of courses. So you can see Indian Society, CSAT, Ethics, International Relations, Essay, and if you buy all the courses, then we will be giving access to all these courses like History, Economy, Geography, and this is our mains answer writing course. There you can see different batches are there, and this is our prelims test series. If you want to watch demo videos, you have to click on play course, and in history we will be having 5 modules. So there, if you want to see demo videos in that so and so part of history, you can click on that play course. And before payment you can see only 3 demo videos, and after payment you can see all those videos will be displayed on the screen. You will
Hello
be
students,
having
welcome to
settings
Rathod
regarding
IAS.
quality and
My name is
also
Rajesh.
speed.
I'm your
You
history
can adjust
faculty.
according to
Today
your
in the part of
requirement.
the world history lectures, the most
This is
important
about
topic in
history.
the world history of the UPSC CSA exam, that is the French
Next,
Revolution.
let us try to see other subject, international relations. Click on play course, and the same thing that will follows. Before payment 3 demo videos, after payment every video will be displayed on screen, and you can click on the play button, then full screen, and then settings. So this will be follows to all
Hello
the
all, welcome to the
courses.
lecture. A very important topic we are going to cover up in today's lecture, that is Indo-Pacific. Every day in newspaper we are hearing this word Indo-Pacific region and the importance.
This is regarding polity, and the faculty is Shashwat Raghav ma'am.
Hello and welcome everyone to Rathod's IAS. This is Shashwat Raghav, your polity faculty on this platform. We'll be basically covering our GS paper 2, and we very well know in GS paper 2 we have governance, constitution, polity along with social justice and IR. By me, your constitution, polity and governance subjects will be covered. In UPSC side for GS paper 2, only the subjects have been mentioned, the governance, constitution, polity, but faculties
This is about economy. So economy is taught by Sarvan sir. So these are some demo videos you can watch like this. And economy it is
Welcome to
like
Rathod
112 hours of course.
Friends, from this class onward. Hi friends, my name is Sarvan Kumar. I am your economy faculty. Welcome to Rathod's IAS. Friends, in this class, we are going to study about the gross value added. What is the meaning of this gross value added? Now, under this, we have three heads: basic price, right? Factor.
And next is science and technology. You can click on the video and you can click on play button and full screen.
Welcome to Rathod IAS. To the DNA, that kind of bank is called as DNA data bank. So you need to create a DNA data bank at a national level, okay, where the information of all the criminals, okay, all the suspects.
So these are the number of courses that you can watch the demo videos, and after once you watch the demo videos and after once you're satisfied, so click on the buy now button, and after that you need to enter some details. Later on you can click on proceed and you can give your mobile number and also email ID, and finally you can use this Razor Pay payment system for the purchasing of these courses.